Welcome back. This is The Key Point on TV3. We're live on 3FM 92.7, also on TV3 Ghana on Facebook and on DSTV channel 279. We're all across the world on 3news.com. This segment of the program is a data-driven segment where we move the conversation to verifiable data that you can verify, you can follow yourself every step of the way. It's not just about the politics of things, the economy, issues of environment, social matters, everything that concerns you that is hinged on data. This is the segment that we're getting to here on The Key Point, and that is the poll tracker. Everything feeds into matters of the economy, because that's the bread and butter issues, really, that defines even how we vote. This morning, last week, we started a conversation, and flowing from last week, within the week, Musa Dankwa put out a new a poll that tracked from a period what the mindset of the NPP, especially the NPP delegates, are going into this crucial flag bearer elections on January 31, all things being equal. Now, this new poll had some delegates of the NPP polled. Also, you had the general populace, Ghanaians, and then NPP members within the Akan region, Volta, the Northern Bloc, and the swing regions as well. The sample size for this poll is almost 10,000, but it's about 9,497. That's the total. Out of that, the NPP delegates who were polled by Musa Dankwa in this latest one is 2,737. 2,737. I laid this foundation, and this is where I bring in the man who, together with his team, went on the ground to do this. Musa Dankwa is a CEO and global lead for Global Info Analytics. He's joining us in the studio. Musa Dankwa, good morning.
Good morning, Alfred.
Thank you, as always, for joining us.
My
this
pleasure.
morning. You seem to cause a lot of talk.
With data.
Not confusion, talk.
With data.
With data. When you put these polls out. And what's the intent, really? What do you seek to achieve with all this?
Look, in every democracy, polling is part of good governance. And polling enables you to hear the voice of the people, the voice of the voiceless, the voice of people who cannot call into radio stations or call you TV station or call or go into TikTok or WhatsApp and send you a message. But the polls aggregate all the views, red, green, or blue, and present them to the country. This is the thought of the nation. And what polling does is that it demystifies many issues that cannot be proven by fact, by making it bare using data. And also enable you to see the demography of the data and what it means, both now and in the future. So there are certain things we have seen or observed in the data today that could have profound consequences in 2028 and beyond. And this is what polling does.
It could have profound consequences,
yes,
in 2028 and beyond.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Again, the demography of the country, the demography of young voters, and the views of young voters will shape our conversation from today and beyond.
Young voters?
Yes, young voters.
That is the major takeaway for you from this particular poll. I see. This one, you put a summary, and that also paints a picture so that our viewers can follow every step of the way. This summary just gives some detail of what the real meat is. And that in this new poll, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is essentially still in the commanding lead. 57% of the voters preferring him to the others. Kennedy Ohinie Japan, and then you have, at least in the swing regions as well, he's still having that same lead. In the Akan regions, and then also in the Northern Bloc, which is not surprising, really. But then there's a story when you pitch Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Kenneth Japong against the possible, because for the NDC, none of the names that you poll have come out to declare their intentions of the flag. So then why are you doing that? If they haven't come out to declare, that's Johnson,
you and I, you and I have
Idrisu, and then also Julius Debra and the others. That's Dr. Kasiela Tofosi.
You and I have an opinion. And that opinion is that we think in the NDC, these guys could be the potential candidates. You're not going to pick an MC from Wawa to come and lead NDC. There are possible options. Options that are plausible. And those are the options we put there. And remember, we've done this over a period of time. So what we've done is to pick the 4 names that have scored at least 10% in our tracking polls.
I see.
And that become what we call the plausible list for NDC, for us to take to the market.
I see. And those 4 are who?
Asedin Ketia, Julius Debra, Haruna Idrisu, and Atufosi.
But in one of the polls you did, you added Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, the vice president.
Yes.
And then eventually you took her out.
Yes.
Why?
The decision was based on the fact that she was taken ill for some time. And we believe that that health scare could limit her ability to contest. And also by 2028, she will be 77 years. And what we've heard from the young voters is telling me that it is reasonable, unless I'm told otherwise, to exclude her, so that I can see the real race rather than the race with potential candidate who may not actually contest.
I see, because then that's one of the questions that are being asked of you. Let me run through this picture, then we'll get into the details, because we had to understand why, really, because she hasn't even come out to say whether she will or she will not. That is the current Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. So for the many who were also looking at what you were putting out there, why do you take her out when she hasn't even come out to? And she also has her own constituency that helped the NDC win the 2024 elections. You cannot discount her influence, okay, and her impact. So
remember, what we did was that in the week before the poll, we put out an announcement that if you know of any candidate that you believe may contend that we don't have in the list we have given you, let us know. And nobody called us. So we gave people opportunity to insert the name, but nobody called to insist that her name is insisted. So we didn't shut the door. The door was open all the way until the poll started. So we gave her team and everybody the chance to put names there. And if you watch the numbers that we had, the list had gone from few to about 9, because we had a backroom discussion with others or people who think others may contest. So the list grew because of that. So we gave people chances to call us. We didn't have any call from her side.
we didn't have anybody calling to put up Professor Nana.
In fact, we even said that if you don't think you will go and your name is there, let us know. We'll take you out. And indeed, we took somebody out.
Who?
I won't tell you.
I see. Right. So then this sample deployment, in fact, there are about 9,500 sample size cuts across all 16 regions. And then you also have 83 constituencies that you did face-to-face in. That's the 7,500 persons that you polled across the 83 constituencies out of the 276 constituencies as we have it. Then, and this across all the 16 regions. Now, what is interesting, and I had to establish this what we just spoke about, because it addresses a certain concern that was raised ahead of this latest poll that you put out as to why you chose to put certain names and certain persons in there, and then by your own whims you took out others as well. So it's good that we settle this matter. This explanation that you've given will take the box for others. Others will disagree with you because in their view, Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman should be there. But that said, this part of the poll is amongst the general populace.
Yes, correct.
And you still have Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in there, polling 57.4. as against kind of Japan, 29.3. What's the story in here? What are we seeing?
Look, the story over the last 90 days has not changed significantly for the NPP race. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is preferred candidate for NPP among general voters, followed by Kennedy Japan, and you have Educhum, Brian Champon, and Kobna Ejepon. This list was finalized after the submission of forms. Before, there were other candidates that didn't pick up forms and indeed are not contesting. So these are the names we took, and in the end, this is the view from the general public. And this view includes all voters, including MPP sympathizers, NDC sympathizers, floating voters, and others. So this is overall the national view when you speak to voters.
I see. Then, so this is the total that has all of that. Then you drill into this.
Yes.
The Akan block. This is
Yes.
an area
Yes.
that you have a number of what we describe
The,
as a strong
the
block
idea
in
is
the
that
NPP.
you want to see how each of these candidates are performing across the various blocks. Now, the idea is that if you are the Akan candidates, you should be dominating in the Akan areas. If you are from the north, you should have a backing from your area. So what we saw is that even among the Akan regions, the 8 Akan regions, you have Dr. Bawumia still doing about 50%.
I see. Even in the Akan region.
Yes, and Canada, Japan doing 34%, slightly higher than national average in the Akan regions, which is expected.
Well, that's his closest contender in the Akan area.
Yes.
But you have other candidates as well who
Yes.
you would expect that will make
If
inroads.
you look at the difference between this and the previous data, the overall national, you can see that Bawumia has dropped 4% from the national compared to the Akan areas, and Kennedy has gone up from 29 to 34%. So the difference between the 5 candidates is just between Bawumia and Kennedy in the Akan areas, which is doing Ken doing about 5% better than the national average.
What's the difference between this and the poll that you put out previously in this particular Akan block for the NPP?
I think I haven't seen the difference. I haven't gone there to check yet, but I suspect Bawumia may have dropped from the previous polling numbers because he has seen some little drop across the general voters a bit.
I see. Now, this in the northern block,
Yes.
well, as expected.
As expected, you see. So he is riding very high in the northern block, whereas others are not doing well. But he still remains very competitive in the Akan block as well. So it tells you the dominance of his campaign in the 2 blocks that we've looked at.
And well, that also then gives us another picture, isn't it? If you look at what the people you polled said for Japan in the Akan block as against what is happening in the northern block, there's a strong allegiance to the man, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. In 2024, in terms of the election outcome, that doesn't reflect this kind of support. That's what his contenders have been referencing, that you know what, this is your area, and you didn't do that well because we put you there to bring us the votes from there. What happened?
You know, if you are a northern voter, you always want MPP to present somebody from the north. You also like NDC to present someone from the north. At the end of the day, you get a president from the north. So they want a candidate that in whatever scenario, they could get the presidency from the north. And also, look, the fact that he said, I prefer someone, does not necessarily mean that when it comes to voting, he will vote for that person. Let's draw a line between those two. I prefer him to lead. Would you vote for him? That could be a different story.
I see. Then it means that they would express their preference,
Yes,
but then may not vote for the person.
absolutely.
But then does that not also cast a shadow of skepticism
No.
over your poll?
That is why you have to dig down and see how this data is further broken down into party affiliations. Because look, people are expressing their views, and they have every right to express that view. That view could be sincere, could be cynical, and that's what happens in election anyway. So it's up to you to decide or to understand how to read this data and how to use that data.
Well, then look at this.
In the voter block. It's quite tighter in the voter block. You can see that Brian Achampon, Kobina Ejepon are doing extremely well. Are doing extremely well in the voter account block, in the voter block. Kennedy 31% there, and Baume 44%. So we can see that Baume is being squeezed strongly in the voter block by his opponents.
I see. And this is in the voter block.
Yes.
But then again, you have other persons who you would expect that
almost 20% between Brian and Ejepon.
In the voter block.
Voter block.
What's accounting for this? Did you draw down this data? Because you say if you go down within and you drill the data, the details will tell you a particular
If you look at the party affiliation, I think we may come to that point. You can see how the party affiliates are picking their choices.
I see. Now, look at this. And this is in the swing regions.
The swing regions.
I mean, the 2024 election outcome then defeated the entire definition of
swing.
What we define as swing regions because of the pattern of votes that we saw, or the voting we saw in the Greater Accra, Central and the Western region. But then again, it takes more than just one election cycle.
Absolutely, to say that it's changed.
To say that this swing region status
has changed
or cannot hold it.
I think Accra will be probably out of swing for some time. I think the swing we may have will remain Central and Western region.
Central and Western.
Yeah.
But then again, in the outcome of 2024 elections, Central region was swept by the NDC.
Yeah.
Same as Western region.
You know, if you look at the pattern and behavior of those two regions, Accra's behavior has changed because of the demographic changes that happened in the COVID time. And that is permanent, right? But what we saw in the Central and Western is due to messages of the two campaigns in the last election.
I see. Well, my guests are taking their seats right now. Martin Pebo as well has just joined the pack of the others I mentioned earlier will be joining us. So stay with us. We'll get into their thoughts shortly. But this is the big one out of the lot.
Yes.
This is amongst the NPP delegates.
Yes.
And you say how many of them? Almost
2,700.
2,700.
Yes.
Out of the 9,500 persons that you polled,
correct,
are NPP delegates.
Yes. Now, in fact, the 9,500 excludes NPP delegates. So if you add the NPP delegates, we're looking at about almost 11 to 12,000 people we sampled.
I see. But 2,500 out of the lot. How reflective is it of the mindset, the pattern, and the possible outcome of this crucial election in less than 4 months?
Look, if you understand sampling and how sampling works, it's like preparing a soup, right? When the soup is ready, to taste the soup, you don't drink a bowl of it. You take a teaspoon, a small spoon, and then you taste it. The way it tastes with the small spoon, that's how the entire soup tastes. So you draw a sample. The most important thing is that the sample must be drawn randomly. Randomly. And this random calls we placed delegate came from over 241 constituencies randomly.
Randomly?
So we didn't just focus on few constituencies and draw the sample. We called them randomly and we engaged people from 241 constituencies where the NPP delegates are. And that gives me assurance. And remember, we are saying that our margin of error, that's the most critical thing. I don't remember from the earlier, I think maybe around 1.2 or 2%.
Yes.
And the confidence level is 99%. So what you should be bothering yourself with is the margin of error of the survey.
I see. But then again, these delegates that you polled say that if elections were held today, and the denominator that you put out earlier is also very important, that they will tell you that they're going to go this direction, but on the day of voting, they could change their minds, right? So how reflective is this on this one?
Look, we don't just ask these questions and go. There are other questions that we ask them before we even get to this point. We ask them, do you approve, or what's your view about Bawumia? Is it favorable or unfavorable? What about Brian Achampon? What about Kennedy Ejepon? So when they tell you how they view the candidates and you rank them by net favorability, you can see the top rating candidate among them. And then when you ask them who would you vote for, and they say, I am undecided or this and that, you can go back and reference the response he gave you on the favorability and the choice he's making down the line. So we are able to triangulate and find out those who may be lying. And even those who are saying undecided.
You see, that's my big takeaway. So with all this, you have a huge demographic who say they are undecided. 27%, that's enough to
swing,
to change a lot of things.
Absolutely.
So how then do you expect people to understand why you have 27% of people you spoke to who say, well, I am undecided. I am an NPP delegate, but then I have not decided on whether to vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Kennedy Japan, Brian Champong, Duchum, or Kabine Japan.
A lot of delegates have not had encounter yet with the candidates. They are waiting to meet them one-on-one. And you know what that means?
What does it mean?
Oh, people are waiting to be seen and sorted.
They're waiting to be seen
and sorted.
And sorted.
Yes. So the decision we made as and when those encounters happen. And look, we spoke to many of them. And we know what happened in delegate. We know. I mean, we can't pretend this doesn't happen. So some are waiting for them to be sorted, and then they will decide. Look, but I am telling you, every delegate, whether he's waiting or not, knows who he's voting for.
Every delegate knows.
I'm telling you, he may rather maybe claim he's undecided because he doesn't know. Sometimes he doesn't know whether you are calling from the DMB camp or you are calling from Kennedy camp. So if they say Kennedy and you are DMB, and you know that this guy you won't get him, he won't get his booty. So he will take a safer stand. So people you see making clear declaration are people who have said that they will vote for this person. They're not waiting for anything.
I see. But then again, when you call them, you disclose your identity.
Yes,
you tell them
yes,
why you are calling them. That you are calling from Global Info, you are doing this and this and that. Right?
They may think that Global Info has been hired by DMB to do poll for them.
But have you been hired by Dr.
No,
Mahmoud Bawumia?
No, we haven't been hired by anybody.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia hasn't hired you?
We haven't been hired by anybody.
Okay.
Right? So they have that kind of thought. Some of them are waiting. But look, when we do a final poll, and we still have that number as undecided, we will tell you how they will vote.
You can tell that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have Dr. Joshua Zato with us in studio. He is a senior lecturer, political science department, University of Ghana. He was nursing the intentions of actually representing the people of Sisala East on the ticket of the NPP at some point. But he's joining us in the studio this morning, and he's been doing some political analysis over the period. It's good to have you. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Alfred.
Dr. Joshua Zato.
Nice to be back.
Also joining us for the first time since he became minister. It is actually the case, yes. The Tamale North Member of Parliament, Al-Hassan Suhini Al-Hajj, is a deputy minister in charge of roads and highways. It's good to have you, sir.
Always a pleasure.
Congratulations.
I didn't realize I have been away for that long.
You have been. You have been. You have been. But welcome.
Thank you so much.
How's the big push going?
Let me congratulate our brother Musa Dankwa for the fantastic job that he continues to do. Even though for us in the NDC, we think it is too early.
We'll come to that.
It's all right. He's an independent poster, and you are an independent media house, so you can continue to do what you do. I'm sure people are enjoying it, but many of us in the NDC are only entertained by it. We are focused on delivering President Mohammed's big push agenda, and we are focused on ensuring that we reset this country. For us, that's our priority.
And it's good to hear that.
Well, why do you say it's too early? Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, we are entitled to have our focus as a party. And we don't take the mandate that the people of Ghana gave us lightly at all. And so anything that, suggests that we are only here because of the next election, for us is too early. We are here to deliver, to alleviate poverty, to reset our economy, and to improve our infrastructure. That's why we are here for now.
And would this not also help to then have the party start thinking and putting measures in place as to how you can address, because this is an undercurrent that is not
Alfred, that's what I'm telling you, that
yet.
For us in the NDC, led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, our focus now can't and shouldn't be distracted by anything other than delivering on the mandate that the people have given us.
How's the big push going?
Oh, by His grace. I mean, you can see that many of our contractors who abandoned site some time ago are back to site. His Excellency the President a couple of weeks ago, cut short for the beginning of the big push. He was in Greater Accra, he was in the Volta region, and he will soon go to the other regions to cut short for the construction of this transformative, road projects. And I am very confident that after 2 years, many of our problems, especially traveling from the north to the south, from the south to the north, and to the east and the west, will significantly improve.
There was a particular road that Dr. Joshua Zato was concerned about at some point. Dr. you mentioned it. Now
Yeah.
Just a quick one.
Just a quick one. When I was coming here, the main thing that was coming for everybody was that when you come,
even offset,
they said, Blape minister la lewon biewia and Lisi minister la malewon biewia. There's two things. Bulapo, tell him about our roads. Lisu, remind him about our roads. And that road is the Hang, Jeffy C, Tumu, Chuchulega road. So Minister was listen. Minister was blapan. They said I should tell you about the road. I should remind you. We've seen that some roads are being.
He knows that He knows that road is part of the big push.
I know.
And it's going to be done.
Good.
And done
I'm just
very
praying,
well
I'm just praying. I just want to remind folks.
Wait a minute. By His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC. But he wants to be part of the credit when it is done. Then he will say, I was on TV lobbying for it. He didn't lobby for it.
I have been talking about it. Okay. Let me say that I've been on TV talking about it already. I've been on TV talking about it.
And President Mahama to do that road, and it will be done.
And I'm praying that it will be done. I'm cheering for the big push. I've said that here a lot of times. I'm hoping, I'm praying that God, let it be done. If you want, don't invite me to the commissioning. I don't mind. But let it be done. Because that road is very important. Especially now.
It's been awarded. It's part of the roads that will be done.
We've had the awarding. Some you've started with some rules. I'm just praying. Please pray and hope that it is done. Okay. So yes. So people who are listening to me, listen, Minister Lane, so I've done my part.
But Jato had nothing to do with the decision.
Of course, I have nothing. I'm just a mere university lecturer. What can I do with it? $1 million road?
Thank you. All right. Thank you. So at least.
But I've done my part.
Indeed. You have done your part indeed. And I'm sure the people of Sisala East are watching right now. And we also have Martin Pebu, is private legal practitioner. He is leader of Kumipreko demonstration. Anytime I say this, I get a reminder from Professor Emmanuel Jemfi. He says, I want to find out from you when the Kumipreko demonstration will come up again. There has to be a reason for it. For now.
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely. If the government doesn't set up, we'll go again.
We'll go on Kumipreko reloaded.
Yes. By all means.
2.0.
3.0. Yes, if government doesn't set up, we'll do it. You see the one Oliver did. Yes, so it tells you, before the elections, people just thought we were NDC lackeys, just disguising ourselves as independent. I'm sure right now you don't need anybody to tell you that we are truly independent, right? So now, to start, as usual, the rituals. But before then, I've also mentioned my road to Honorable So, yes, Pantan, there is a bridge there. Yes, he knows, he's assured me, so we'll do that. Yes. Mr. Kansi, yesterday night, I didn't sleep.
Why?
You know what, Charlie? We should sit up and see what we can do to help the BNI. They are still abusing people's human rights willy-nilly. It's terrible. It's terrible. You know that the BNI has somebody in custody over this same publication of fake news, etc. For today he was picked up the Friday, so today is the 9th day. Jesus. Yeah, 9th day. Just like this one is worse than the Abronia one. BNI is not independent. It's terrible. BNI. Look, if we don't set up, it will grow into a worse monster. I'm telling you. I didn't sleep. I was slightly late because I woke up at night. I was like, what? Really? Because I contacted the director himself. It's over this Guinea conflict. A guy who had been preaching, they say he's inciting violence. They took him somewhere around Swedo area. You take the person to court. The court is not sitting, that particular court. What the Supreme Court, from our laws, if that court is not sitting, report to the registrar so that they will see how to send the case before another judge. That's it. They didn't do so. Brought him back, and then it's been it. In any event, they even arraigned him on Monday, more than 48 hours. It was past 72 hours.
Wow.
So BNI, if we don't wake up, and that's the case of Albert Dana, it's terrible. And I see why the NPP were right in doing that demonstration. Because you see, when Abronye got the bill, I was like, should the NPP do this demonstration? It's needless. There are other cases, there's no time, but I'm telling you, BNI is gone rogue. We hope that HKC Prempe will take notice. Let's see if it's possible for us to add them to the constitutional amendment, because it's terrible. It's terrible. I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep because he said when your neighbor's beard is on fire, hey, you find water for yours because you don't know when to affect you. Anyway, once again, so we will applaud Domahini, Sofe Kufu Yasantwa, and Gamanche Kintaki Teku through the second for all that they did. They stood up as valiant, very courageous countrymen and women when times were very hard. People didn't want to talk, and we'll continue to applaud them for it, you see, because like even this BNI matter I'm talking about, you see, if we had that independence, like the way Domlevo is independent, you remember I read Domlevo's statement when Abronye's rights were being abused. I'm sure the BNI director would have been independent, you see, but because we've created that culture that, it's a gift, the position is a gift to him. You see that he can't, no. He's there for his stomach. He's not there for you and I. He's there for his stomach. He's grateful to the executive for the position. So he will do nothing to assert any independence. Because how? Whole director of BNI, I bring it to your attention that this guy was in custody more than 48 hours at the time he was arraigned. And now he's been in custody for 9 days without a court warrant. He's not on remand, though. This is worse than the Abronye case. Come on, Mr. Kipo, look, you can do better than this. Mr. Kipo, you can do better than this. Stop thinking about your stomach alone. Your stomach alone won't take you anywhere. We've spoken here, we've lost jobs, we found other jobs. If you think about your stomach alone, this country will sink.
Well, this matter that you have brought up is one we'll keep an eye on as well, with this that you have just stated, and whether there's going to be some action taken on it going forward. But your hat this time around, which one is it?
Yeah, this is a Bota hat. Bota, yes.
Bota in South Africa.
They spell that same way. So it's one, its name comes from gondoliers, that's boatmen. Boatmen in the Italian city of Venice.
I see.
That's where.
Well, Azazuni, welcome to the world of.
Yes, I'm saying
every Saturday he has something for us, awesome. So it's worth also putting it out there. You have been clear, lawyer, on your position on all these persons. That you know what, for you, you're looking into the future.
Exactly.
It's about youthful front for you and nothing more, nothing less. Even if the person's policy is of some youthful orientation, you say that's not going to cut it for you. Because when you said this, when you made this statement, quite a number of them have been responding that, look, I might be old in age, in quote. I've gone beyond the youthful bracket, but my policies resonate with the youth. So why are you limiting my chances to whether I'm young or not, really, all these persons?
Good. Their policies resonate with the youth in their party, that's the NPP. But we all know that it's no brainer that generally between the two political parties, NDC and NPP, they all have around 45% of the population, generally, in terms of consistency. This is the first time that, if you leave out 92, where the NPP was boycotting, this is the first time NPP has had to do 41-point-something%, right? So you're not looking at your base. You should be looking at those of us in the middle, those of us who swing every 48 years. These guys don't appeal. Brian Champon looks like the most youthful. But it was just a few months ago when Brian Champon tried to take our hotels for a song. Brian Champon, after attempting to take our hotels for a song, next to nothing, a cabal, he tried to take our hotels away. I think who is going to vote for you? You know how he's going to loot us? If Kennedy Japan said it, he said they were looting like there's no tomorrow. So Brian Champon is the one who looks very youthful in his face. No, but he doesn't cut it, apart from the violence he was inciting, etc. So all of this crop, look, they won't get anywhere. It's a waste of their time. If they want to make it for 2032, they should look at the likes of Patrick Buama, Patrick Buama, and maybe upon Kruma. But I think Patrick Buama cast it. Look, it's better they rally round somebody who can do 8 years. I told you that in 8 years, Baumia will be about 70.
So why are you talking about 8 years when the NPP itself is eyeing 2028?
No, they can't win 2028.
Why do you make
unless
this
something like what the
statement?
BNI is currently doing goes on and on, maybe 20, 30 cases. Oh, then that one, if BNI continues on this trajectory for maybe another 10 cases, it's possible I can vote for NPP. Okay, but I'm sure with this, Mr. Kipo will be well warned that he should assert himself and stop abusing human rights.
So
right?
last week you indicated that the only way the NPP will have a chance is when there's extreme misgovernance
absolutely.
by the NDC.
Yes.
Within the next 3.5 years.
When they do it beyond what Akufo-Addo did.
That would be the only way Baumia's candidature will be legitimized.
Exactly, because remember that JM himself, he could come back because Akufo-Addo couldn't perform as much as JM. So it was like, me hear that day, somebody wa me, of a fraud by, you know, you see, me hear that, so like Momo, you go back to your ex-girlfriend, if the new one is performing worse, then you're like, hey, Sankofa Yenchi. You see, I'm sure in all the languages you'll find axioms and proverbs that say that you look, just eat humble pie. If you get a new boyfriend or new girlfriend and he or she is performing worse than the previous one, then just go back to the previous one and apologize. That's if it's the previous one is still, the ex is still available.
I see.
Yes, so that's the only way Baumia. But considering the way our society is changed, I doubt that this government can perform worse than the NPP. Because you see the president yesterday had to meet the CSO. You see the whole...
The conversation will come to that.
But it tells you that Ghana is changed. No, if you look at the election results, I'm sure it's not lost on Honorable Suhini, the rest of the NDC, etc. That Ghana is changed. It can't be the Akufo-Addo, Kokwasa, and the Nebukadnezar tone-deaf business.
Okay, but you see, Dr. Zato, there's some truth in there, is it not? That even the president, the current president, John Dramani Mahama, did indicate that he considered retiring from politics after 2016. But then there was a call on him because of the performance of the previous administration. There was a call on him to come back, and he considered that call. So Martin Pepo is of the view that, look, the only way, in fact, one of the three major factors that would boost the NPP's chances in 2028 is if there is extreme misgovernance by the NDC beyond what we saw in the last 8 years. Then, well, you know, some people would look at Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, but beyond that, we should be planning for the next 8 years.
Thank you. I like the fact that, and I like how Martin is trying to play God. And he's trying to then determine for the millions and millions of Ghanaian voters what they should do or what not to do. I'm happy. I'm like the fact that you are playing that role, and it's good. And you started with the song, Me Yere Dada. Me, I also want to, I think my small to the Me Dofwa Dada Me. If you look at the Dada Me that is going on, just yesterday or this week, there was a very big Dada Me with cocoa farmers. Remember, cocoa farmers were promised 6,000 cedis per bag of cocoa. And remember that so far, they've just given it less than 500 this whole year. But then you keep dying cocoa farmers like that. And then instead of telling me here, it has to take extreme distance for you to lose power. You keep on doing that. In this country, the history of this country has proved that it has nothing to do. One, you can rule the best, you can and lose power. You can perform very high, better than anybody, and lose power. Two, you can also not perform very well and win power. Power sometimes depends upon one, personalities who lead, and sometimes the economy you are running. I'll give you two scenarios. In 2008, J.A. Kufuor inherited a HIPIC economy. He handed over a middle status economy when he left. J.A. Kufuor, when he was living, was one of the most popular presidents we ever have in this country. But then people lost power. They lost power because that election became about personalities. It became about the person of Professor Mills versus the person of Akufo-Addo. We've seen that. Economy alone and doing well alone is not enough to either give you power or not to give you power. So me, I will not sit down here and say that or less extreme cases that, look, you can run an economy very well, and then something happens. Nobody predict. Did you predict what's the name? COVID would have come. Nobody predicted COVID. Did you predict the consequences of COVID? Nobody did. Events happen. Anyway, by the way, you said that Musa Danko said so far in about 10 months, His Excellency the President has lost about 6 or 7% of his popularity. Imani Ghana has report that says that the goodwill of the NDC government has been wiped out in 8 months.
The goodwill has been wiped out.
Yes, Imani Ghana.
Imani.
Yes.
Wait. Hold on.
Imani Ghana. Yes.
Which specific report of Imani are you talking about?
There was a report.
The entire goodwill.
They said the goodwill of the NDC has been has evaporated
in the last 8 months.
That is the report.
Which
report
exactly?
Imani came up with it. I've said Imani report. You said which report?
Imani's report has specific
many
themes.
reports.
So that's
the report on the president approval ratings. They said
Imani
the goodwill of the government
on the president's
is
approval
there.
rating?
Has Imani come out to say that the goodwill of the government has been evaporated?
No.
Have they said that?
Because you are making a statement.
So yes, that's I'm not making a statement. I'm referencing a report.
Which report specifically?
The Imani come out with a report that says that the goodwill of the president has taken a hit. The government has taken a hit. Has evaporated. Has he said that?
So Imani has conducted a survey on the president's approval rating, and they say that the approval rating of the John Mahama administration has been wiped out.
Imani has conducted a study, and the study says that the goodwill of the government
has been wiped out,
have evaporated, and they gave a reason. Yes, and they gave the reasons for that. Mass dismissal of workers.
Franklin Kujo is joining us right now.
Exactly. To talk about the report.
He's on.
Okay. No, let's go and see what. No, let's go to and see what the report is saying is true or not.
Make your point.
So the question I'm making is that within the 8 months of the current government, the president's high flying rate of about 73% has dropped to 63 or so percent, lost about 6%.
And he said wiped out.
No, this is.
I'm quoting two different reports, Martin. If you listen, you will hear. I'm quoting global information. He's here. Your report says how much has the president lost in 8 months?
That was last week.
Mr. Adakwa, you said the president has lost how much?
6%.
6% within 8 months. 2. Imani also has a report that says that the president has also lost. The government has lost some favorability ratings. So the point I'm making is this: let's keep going on this and this. And the idea that nobody can abrogate themselves as God to say that this person cannot win, this person don't win. Because look, I know people who have said Akufo-Addo can never be president until he became president. I know people who have said that Professor Mills could never be president until he became president. And I know people who have said that, it can never happen until it happens. So look, I am happy to say that, yes, I'm glad to see these things happening. But there's something unfortunate that is happening within the NDC that I'm not happy about. For the first time, the NDC is moving away from their tradition of letting the sitting vice president replace the president. And they are doing that, trying to bundle away and try to push out the sitting vice president, which is not fair. Jerry John Rawlings handed over to his vice president, Mills.
No, hold on. Gentlemen, hold on.
Can I be allowed to make my point here? Can I be allowed at least to make my point here?
Hold on.
The NDC has a tradition. The NDC has a tradition of making sure that an incumbent vice president takes over from the sitting president. That is the NDC's tradition.
Okay. But if you say...
let me develop that point. Yes. And that point was solidified on what became known as the Swede Road Declaration, where Jerry John Rawlings stood up boldly, held the hand of Mills, and said that Mills was going to lead him. When he did that, Guzitano and the Reform Report, they left the party and went and formed a new party. And from that moment on, the NDC almost disintegrated onto 3 parts. But the NDC stood by. That is why Mills replaced Rawlings. That is why Professor Mahama replaced Mills. And today, it is the turn of Professor Jane Obokunana to replace Mahama. And what do we see? She's not even making the 3%. So when you see the fight back from the NDC that Musa Danko don't do what you are doing, what they are simply trying to say is that your poll now is saying that the vice president cannot be president. They are telling you that your poll now is saying that this woman is not where you are trying to muzzle out this woman. And that is why you see in the fight. When you hear Kwesi Ahoy and others calling into Metro TV to propose this, and they are saying that let's protect this woman.
Dr. Zato.
Let's go to, can I see the NDC? Can I see the NDC chat?
One of the things I don't do
Okay,
is to take up what happens on other platforms that we haven't seen
Okay, sorry. Okay, so
to make it a discussion point.
okay, I don't want to do that.
You know
Okay.
that.
No, good. So let's talk about the. Can I see the NDC
So
list,
because
please?
you indicated that
The NDC list. Okay.
the NDC is muscling out.
The
That
vice
is to-
president, yes.
That is to suggest that the party has taken a decision to do so.
Whether it's by coincidence or it is this, the fact is that the vice president. How can the president have 67% approval ratings? Meanwhile, the vice president is not even cracking the top 3%.
I asked
How?
a specific question.
Yes.
You say the NDC is muscling out the vice president.
Yes.
Where did they do that?
That's how I read the polls. Please,
That's
can you
how
put that,
you understand
Can you
the
Can you
polls.
put up the NDC
That's
polls?
how you understand
Can
these
you?
polls.
Good. So look at this. I want to.
Wait,
Yes, I want to.
wait. That's how you understand that the NDC.
I want to tell you the analysis behind the polls. I want to tell you the analysis behind that poll.
No,
Yes, that's the headline. I want to tell you the analysis behind
I
that.
think that in understanding this,
Alfred, I
the
want to
man
tell you
who did the
this.
poll. Wait,
Alfred, if you could just pardon me. You see, it is Saturday morning.
I'm going to come to you.
I'm not
Saturday
yet
morning.
done.
And see, when
I'm
people
gonna come to
wake
you.
up, when people wake
I'm not
up
yet done.
I'm going to come to
on
you.
Saturday
yet
morning
done.
when they don't have to go
1, 2,
to
3,
work,
4, 5,
they
6,
want
7,
to
8, 9, 10,
listen to
11, 12, 13,
enlightening and enriching
I'm gonna come to
conversations.
you.
Exactly. Let's do that. I want to do
And
that.
not ridiculous.
I want to do that. I want to do that.
Hold on.
So can we look?
The person who did this is here. In reading this, is that to say that there was any specific muscling out agenda?
You know, I've never been part of any agenda of any group of people in my life. We put out an announcement. Look, we have done several work behind the scene. And in the first poll we conducted, she was first with 25%, then Harun Idrisu and the rest. Then she got into these health challenges. And thereafter, she was taking time to recover. We did a poll quietly and asked people, who would you prefer to lead NDC without her name? And we put someone else. And we said, if it's someone else, mention who. So obviously, if she was on people's mind after that situation, people would have been mentioning her name or would have brought her back. So what the list we have is a combination of people who get in touch with us, our own assessment, and our own internal polling data. That shows people were not mentioning her. And we put out an announcement that her name is not there. If you believe any person's name is missing from the this list, please contact us. That was publicly announced. Nobody contacted us. So don't come and say that, look, Mr. Zato, I think let's be measured.
It's so ridiculous.
No. Let's
Don't say no. You make your point. Let me also make my point.
Hold on.
Make your point. Okay, I'm listening. Because you can't say
No, hold on.
The polls are done by us, not by NDC.
And not NDC.
NDC doesn't own this poll. We are not NDC.
How can
Get it?
it be used to muzzle out?
If you like, your African can do a poll with her name
It's so
in there. That's fine.
ridiculous. Some arguments you don't make them.
Can I
My
respond?
time.
So at least,
I have the right to respond.
at least now
Should I
that
respond
matter has
to what?
been put to rest.
No, what
You
matter?
make a
What
claim,
matters put to
you are
rest? Let me
responding to-
explain.
you are asking
What
for a
matters
response
put to
again.
rest? Like what matters?
No,
Do you listen to yourself?
Yes,
I do.
Dr.
You
Zato,
make a claim.
Can
Dr.
I
Zato,
be response to you?
What matters
And you
put to
ask if
rest?
you can respond.
What matters
Hold
put to
on,
rest?
hold on.
I'm telling you that
Hold on.
you have.
Hold on.
Do what?
Hold on.
Do you listen to yourself
You
when you
made
talk?
a claim. And the person who did the poll is
Did I say he muzzled him out?
So
Did I say that?
Then
Did I say so?
Relax,
So let me
relax.
explain.
On
I'm
what
relaxed. I'm very relaxed. You know,
On
that.
what
Yes.
basis are you then saying it's been muscled out?
Thank you.
With the poll.
Thank you.
With the
Thank-
poll. Your reference was with the poll.
Thank you very much. You have a vice president who is with the president. The president's approval rating is 63%. Very popular with all Ghanaians, with all NDC members. Yet the president, his vice president, cannot even make 2.0% within the
So
party.
you're going back to the point that he
Yes,
has
I'm
just
going
explained.
back to the point that so the point I'm making. You should understand is this data. Why is the president so popular within the party and the vice president so unpopular within the party? Why?
That's how you understand
That's
it.
that's what the poll is telling me.
No, but
the poll is telling me that the vice president doesn't even make the top
You see,
5%.
Dr. Zato,
That means she's not popular in the party.
Look, doctor, I respect the title doctor.
Yes.
Her name wasn't included here. So you can't say she's not
You
popular.
mean she was not polled?
She was not polled.
The vice president, the
No,
second
no,
vice
hold on.
president,
I'm telling you.
will lead the
Dr. Zato,
NDC.
you
weren't
asked a
listening.
question.
You didn't vote the sitting vice president to replace the party in a party that has a tradition of the vice president always replacing the president.
Not always.
You always. It's in the NDC. It's always. It's always.
You know,
Aka left office.
Okay, hold on.
But there was no transition.
Hold on. There's no transition. You see?
Yes, I'm saying always. That's because
you have made your point.
Aka was not even a member of the
You made your
NDC.
point. Thank you. Now, let's bring in Hassan Suwini on this.
You know,
And I
Alfred,
think that in the end, just on this quick one, and then we'll move to what we are seeing on the screen right now.
Alfred, you see, like I said earlier, I'll repeat myself. I put myself in the shoes of viewers because there are days that I'm also a viewer. And so when I wake up on Saturday morning, especially when I don't have much to do, I want to listen to discussions that will enrich my knowledge and set me on a good tone to have a beautiful day. But when the discussions veer into realms of ridiculousness, then I begin to wonder, I mean, what went sometimes even into the selection of the panel? And I'm not talking about this panel. I'm just saying what I think about when I'm scanning through stations to listen. Look, Alfred, Sato makes a ridiculous, not one, ridiculous claims about NDC muzzling out, a candidate when there's no candidate. In the first place, there's no candidate. In the second place, the NDC is not conducting a poll. In the third place, NDC is not carrying out any campaign or any election. Like I told you, the focus of the NDC at this time is to deliver on the mandate of the people. Musa Dankwa and the Info Analytics team are independent. And they can choose to run polls on anything in this country. And they have chosen to do so. But no one can begrudge them. We in the NDC are not bothered by that. We are focused on delivering on our campaign promises to the people. And media stations also have independent editorial decisions. And they can choose to highlight what they want to highlight. So they are highlighting Musa Dankwa's polls. It's up to them. But we are focused on, for example, fighting Galamsey. And you see His Excellency President Mahama yesterday engage with CSOs to ensure that they come on board to understand the processes and the programs that are used to fight Galamsey. That is our focus. The finance minister, only a couple of days ago, together with my minister, the road minister, got a 3 billion Japanese yen to ensure that we expand, the road sector, especially in the Ashanti region, which will complement the big push projects that we are focused on delivering. That is the focus of this government. So people can choose to focus on what they want to focus on. But for us in the NDC, we are focused on delivering on the, promises that we made to the people of Ghana. And Zato talks about a tradition in the NDC, which is a complete lie. A complete lie. Look, the fact that Professor Mills came after Jerry Rawlings, and the fact that John Mahama came after Professor Mills does not make it a tradition.
What does
it doesn't. But even if it is a tradition, it is one we'll be proud of. Nobody is forced to succeed his boss. It is a personal decision that people take. And when Vice President Aliu Mahama took that decision, the NPP taught him a bitter lesson. A lesson today that unfortunately, Zato and others are campaigning with in the north. They go to the north and they tell people that it is the time of Bawumia because he's from the north. But they forget that when it was Aliu Mahama's time, Aliu Mahama didn't even make second. He didn't even pass as third. Some of them did not support Aliu Mahama even though they were from the north. And that is the tradition of the NPP. But for us in the NDC, it is an open contest every time there's a race. And if a vice president wishes to succeed a president, he or she and the supporters will say so. But where we are today in NDC, we are focused on delivering the promises that we made to the people of Ghana, resetting the economy of this country, improving on justice delivery, like Martin Kpebu has highlighted, and also ensuring that freedom of speech, especially, is expanded. And perhaps that is why Zato and others can get this platform to express themselves freely without any fear of being, invited or heckled anywhere. But that is the focus of this NDC government, to reset this economy, to reset our democracy, and to reset our country. We are not interested in who succeeds us at this moment. And when he's making references, he should say it well. Kwesi Ahoy never called into any radio station. Kwesi Ahoy never called into any radio station recently that I know of.
Then apologize, I withdraw that. I withdraw that. Okay, I withdraw that. But then Mr. Ahoy,
the party, one of the party founders who called into another radio station yesterday said, to a large extent, the same things that I'm saying on this platform, that the focus of the NDC at this point is not who succeeds President Mahama. It is about who is supporting President Mahama to deliver on the mandate of the people.
And you see, that leads us to this next matter about what this poll reflects. This poll reflects, because it is the big takeaway that we're interested in. Musa Dankwa will have to leave us at some point, but it's the big takeaway that we are saying. You made your point, that we're interested in. If you look at this picture that is on the screen right now, Kennedy Japon's following, and in fact, Dr. Palgrave Dankwa was to join us this morning as well. We understand that he's had a situation, and so he's unable to. And it was one that we're following up closely to find out exactly what happened. But they are contesting this because, you know what, they say the reflection on the ground is not reflected in what we're seeing here. 27% undecided. They make the bold claim that this is theirs. All of this is theirs, if you add it. And that's enough for them to have to stake a claim to who leads the NPP.
It's an assumption they have made. But the data says that these guys are undecided. If you want to prune them further and see where likely they could vote, we could do that. We haven't done that yet, because we are 3-4 months away from the date. Once our final poll comes through, we'll tell you how the race is going to pan out. The next one will be done in October. Next MPP delegate poll. We'll see how the numbers are shifting. As they go around the country, we may see some movement, but certainly there will be a good number who will still be undecided. Typically for MPP, around 20% before the election day. And that would depend on, and the outcome would depend on how far Bawumia is to the finish line. If they are able to drag him below lower 40 or upper 38, then we are in for a big trouble. But for now, where he is, I think he could scrape through.
I see. But then there are 118 days to January 31. Yeah. 118 days. A lot can happen within this period.
Yes, a lot can happen. But you see, within what could happen, there are certain voters whose votes are locked. They are not available to be taken. You must see how likely those people will shift their numbers. When you are doing polling, you must see those who are vulnerable in terms of who could, their base is not solid. Now, when you do that, you could see who could be highly vulnerable to these changes. So far, I think MPP race is quite steady. It's firm, with a little movement here and there. What we have seen is trading of vote between Kennedy Japan, Brian Achampon, Educhum, and Kobne Japan. They have to go to Baumia's camp to pick numbers from there. At the moment, they are not doing so.
Mm-hmm. I see. And there's a trading of votes.
Yes.
And there hasn't been any loss whatsoever.
Yeah, there have been slight loss by Bawumia, but that loss didn't go to any of the opponent. It went to undecided.
This area.
Yes.
You have a lot more people leaving this to this area.
Yes. From the data that we compared from this poll to the previous poll.
I see that persons who had previously indicated that they were going to,
vote
if elections were held then,
they
were going to vote for Dr. Bawumia, are now moving into the bracket.
About 5% have moved into undecided column.
What does that tell you, the movement of these persons into this bracket of undecided? And we're moving on. We're not going back to the other issues. Says that there are a lot more persons who previously had indicated they were going to, for instance, vote for Dr. Bawumia if elections were held then, and now saying they are undecided.
Well, it's positive. It's good, meaning that they are on their way to not voting for him.
How is that?
Yes, because he said now undecided. People who had previously said, I'll vote for Bawumia, now they said they are undecided. It means that they are on their way out.
Really?
They are on their way out. Yes, because it means that they are seeing something else. I hope, Mr. Danko, you cannot rule out my plausible explanation. It's one of them. Previously, you say elections held today, I'll vote for Baumia. Then today, that's so as we were asked a month ago. And then today, you say, no, I'm undecided. I mean, one of the most irresistible conclusions is that such a person is probably seeing something better today. Okay? So he's having a rethink, which is positive. It's positive, extremely. Let Mr. Danko corroborate or disagree.
That's whether it's positive or negative.
You can't rule it out. It's one of the possible.
I think he's right. You can't rule it out.
Yes.
And some of them too, the environmental factors in terms of seeing the candidate and getting sorted also plays a role. If he tells you that, oh, I have decided, and then from the other side, it means I won't give you anything. So he will probably take a safer bet. I'm undecided, so he can take from both sides.
So
once he's done that, then he can decide. Okay,
democracy, not democracy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and those things are real. Those things are real.
I see. But for quick one, Dr. Zato, at some point you indicated that to the extent that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, in terms of how many times he's been on the ticket of the NPP, it plays out to his popularity from 2008 till 2024, and still yearning to do so. And so for you, compared to, if you put him side by side to John Mahama, he's the next most popular person. But you have some persons within this camp saying that it's not so much about the popularity. The viability of the candidate as well is one that you have to look at. If you look at the popularity and the viability, is this working for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia?
Thank you very much. You made a point, and I want to do something. I did indicate that it was no, it was Mr. Ato. I just want to correct that.
So I think he's corrected. You've corrected.
Secondly, Mr. Danko said something which is right. You have the right to do your poll, but you don't have the right to tell us how to read that poll.
Okay.
It is strange that in a party that has tradition, you are polling people that are polling the incumbent vice president.
I specifically asked the question.
In this particular case, yes. Look, I've said it. If apart from His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, the next most experienced, most viable, most marketable politician in this country today is Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He has demonstrated that he has the knowledge, he has the exposure, he has the experience to lead this country. And he has demonstrated that Ghana will be in very safe hands if Ghana was handed over to him at the end of this. He has demonstrated that. No other person in the NDC, apart from President Mahama, comes anywhere close to Dr. Bawumia's exposure, his experience, his knowledge of running, one, for national office, and two, working in the executive arm of government. He has done both. If you compare to the others, the NDC will come out with rookie. I've said that. Whoever the NDC brings up to run against Bawumia will be a rookie. And by the way rookie means that will be the first time that person is running for office. That's what I mean. Rookie defines as the first time the person is running as president. No other person in the NDC, apart from Cyril Norman, has that experience. Dr. Bawumia has run as vice president for 2 times. He has run and has been on the losing side for 2 times, on the winning side for 2 times, and then as presidential candidate, he has lost for 1. That experience, that exposure, that knowledge, there's nobody in the NDC that has it and can equal him. So if you look at the bench that the NDC had, it's a lightweight bench compared to Dr. Bawumia.
You say he's been on the winning side for 2 times,
yes,
and the losing side.
2 times as vice president. And then when he himself ran once, he lost.
Well, as a running mate, he's been on the losing side more than twice.
Mm-hmm. After 2012 and 2008,
I'm just saying to you that because you indicated that he's been on the losing side twice.
He's been on the losing side twice.
But that's twice.
Factually, he's been more than twice as vice president.
As vice president and winning twice. So what is more?
No. So.
But he lost once as a presidential candidate.
Exactly, not as vice president. So my statistics are correct.
I specifically stated the running mate position because you said that he's been to that particular elections.
Yes.
On the losing side.
He has now faced Ghanaians 5 times. Lost twice as vice presidential candidate, won twice as vice presidential candidate, and lost once as presidential candidate. That's expertise, that's knowledge, that's visibility.
So this.
Total rejection.
Wait.
Total rejection. Rejected goods. We are not going for any rejected goods.
I want to say. I'll come.
Thank you.
You see, based on the outcome of the 2024 elections, would you say the popularity as against the viability of his candidature, he will still be a viable option or alternative.
Based on everything you have just said, I can say without any equivocation that the next president of the Republic of Ghana will be His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. That is also because he has I've just told you, if he's coming, it's like Mike Tyson coming out against Bukom Banku.
And yet he was just accusing Martin of playing God.
I'm also telling you this. And the NDC is now. He made something. When Aliu Muhammad did not win the NDC, you know what happened? NDC went out and said that in their party they have a tradition of elected vice presidential candidates.
So you had indicated that Martin Kpebu was almost playing God. I think this emphatic statement.
I'm telling you about I'm playing statistic.
Which you contest.
Yes, I'm playing statistic.
It's interesting to make this point
numbers.
because Musa Dankwa pitched the candidate or the person that he polled,
yes,
in the NDC,
yes,
to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And look at this.
Yes.
This is what was one of the things in your poll. That if Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia should, that is, for the purpose of this poll, because none of the NDC candidates have come out to state their intentions, should you put them head to head to Esiedu Nketia, Johnson Esiedu Nketia. If elections were held today, the people you polled say 50% of them say they would, as against 45% of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Even though Dr. Zato says all of them are what? He says rookies.
Yes.
Julius Debra is the only person that you see there that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia seems to have also showed his mettle. Dr. Kasiela Toforsin, if he's put up against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia today in elections, this will be the outcome. Out of the people you poll, 44% against 53% for Dr. Kasiela Toforsin. And Haruna Idrisu, current education minister, you say if elections were held today, head to head, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Haruna Idrisu, the people you poll say 55% of them say they're going to vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. That's for Haruna Idrisu. That is a departure from the conviction that Dr. Zato has this morning for these persons as against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So what happened?
This is the data. And I can speak beyond the data. And it shows that Bawumia will lose against the three except against Julius Debra.
And did you drill down this data to find out a bit more detail?
We have drilled down to various demographic levels, and I haven't got that figure now. We know which regions they are all winning and by how much in per data. We know which demography, which age groups. We know by gender, by education. So that detail is there. We haven't put them out for a number of reasons.
I see. Well, this is what the data says, unless you disagree. Because you just referenced...
I love the data. I love this data. And I love it that now. I love the fact that an 8-year-old incumbent government with a high unpopularity of 63%, and the national chairman is only beating a presidential candidate who just lost a presidency by only 5%. And that the incumbent chief of staff, again, in a government that is rated so high, is only beating him by 4%. Pardon?
An 8-year-old government.
No, sorry. It's a government that has just left power. President Mahmoud Bawumia just left power.
Okay.
And the NDC is in this honeymoon. And even within this honeymoon period, they are only beating him, if you go by this, by less than 10%. That puts him in a good state, because by the time this government begins to grow, by the time they begin, and we all know, everybody knows, governance means that sometimes there are bodies. Governance sometimes means that you take hits, you take shots there, and your popularity, the president has already lost 6% popularity. Imagine these people also begin. That is because he begins ruling. When you rule, you make mistakes. So me, I'm happy where he is. At least, if you see the average, he's sitting on at least an average of 45. That is where he wants to be.
Well, Musa Dankwa is going to have to leave.
That's where he wants to be. And that's a good position for him. I'm really happy where he is now, and I'm happy that he's not living. It's like a marathon. So long as he stays at an average of 45, he will win the next election.
Alhassan Suni,
Yeah.
This is the picture that, contrary to what Dr. Zato says, all these persons, these 3 out of the 4, will show some good showing, or have a good showing against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia if elections were held today. Dr. Zato says, look, to the extent that he's maintaining a certain average is good enough for him. 3.5 years.
You know, and what is still ridiculous is the claim Dr. Zato makes when he says that he can say emphatically, and the word he used, unequivocally, that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will be the next president. Meanwhile, a while ago, when Martin Pebu suggested that the NPP could only come to power after 8 years, he said he was playing God. But then he is playing statistics. and yet again, Alfred, the ridiculousness. The statistics you put out does not support the claim that he makes.
Wait.
I mean, if you look at what you put out, like you yourself, what you have put out, if I'm to believe it.
This is Musa Damba.
Yeah, I'm saying, what you have put out on your screen, if you are to believe it. No, this cannot be, this cannot inform one to make an unequivocal statement and an emphatic one that Dr. Bawumia will be next president. So, even if he's not playing God, statistically, he's still incorrect. But you see, that's perhaps is for entertainment. For me, I want to assure Martin Pebu that, look, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his government will not do worse than Nana Akufo-Addo. It will be a disaster if any government today or in the future ever does worse than Nana Akufo-Addo. Because the bar under Nana Akufo-Addo was too low. In fact, sometimes I don't even feel comfortable measuring our successes and our performance with Nana Akufo-Addo's regime.
Exactly.
Because, trust me, many of us in the NDC do not want to compare our successes with that government. It's, if we could erase it in our history, perhaps we should be doing so. So, as for the NPP, currently, any fair-minded observer will tell you that the party is dead.
Why would you say such a thing?
They need to resuscitate the party. They need to reorganize the party, which they are not doing, unfortunately, because they say they want to roof a building that doesn't have a strong foundation. And so they are just wasting roofing sheets. But who am I to advise them? I'm only perhaps concerned because I'm a consummate Democrat. And I will want to have an opposition that can keep my government on its toes. That's the only reason why I'm concerned. Otherwise, I should be singing, praises to God that they are engaged in an exercise that will not resuscitate their party, that will not make it stronger. I mean, any fair-minded party person, even NPP party person, will admit that their party is dead, is in crisis. I mean, if you have the general secretary referring regional secretaries to disciplinary committee, I mean, it should just tell you, you'd have a chairman that is nowhere to be found. And the family of the chairman even writing strong letters to the party when it is suggested that he is going to check. I mean, these are telling moments. And look, again, look at the people who have come out. As for the NPP, we can discuss their succession because they have come out and declared their intentions to run, to be flag bearers. Look at the people who have come out. And please, Alfred, we've been around for a while. We have covered NPP politics before when we were practicing journalism.
Thank you.
And you look at the people who are currently leading the NPP today. And you ask yourself, how did the NPP get here? Are these the materials that they really have in the party? How did they get here?
You never say.
I mean, regional chairmen speak, and you want to go under the table. Not because of even the grammar they use, but even the logic that they espouse. I mean, and you want to go under the table. Regional chairman, I didn't say chairman. Chairman.
We have the men.
Chairman. From the north to the Bono area to wherever. Even national chairman speak and you want to go under the table. Regional, I mean, their secretary speak and you want, their flag bearers speak and you are, wow. Is that
Is that what the NPP has become? But you see, so if they do not want to, reorganize their party and they want to continue deceiving themselves that all is well, we can only wish them well. But for us in the NDC, Alfred, as things stand now, I'll repeat, we are focused on delivering the scholarships that the Student Loan Trust, the Scholarship Secretariat, is currently rolling out for both local students and international students. We are focused on making sure that students enjoy their stress-free when it comes to payment of fees. That is championed by the Student Loan Trust Fund, and it is being rolled out, and students are enjoying it. We are focused on making it better and improving upon what we have achieved now. We are focused on ensuring that Get Fund also support with the scholarship that they are rolling out for both local and international students. We are focused on ensuring that the entrepreneurship training that is currently ongoing, led by the Jumawura program, leads to empowerment of our youth in this country. We are focused on ensuring that the Youth Enterprise Agency, led by Malik Basintale, continue to roll out the models that are putting our youthful population into productive life. We are focused on ensuring that we bring down inflation further. For the first time, we have hit single digit. For the first time in a very long time. From, remember, about 54% of inflation. Today, we are talking about a single digit inflation. And guess what is driving it? Food inflation has come down drastically. And that tells you that food prices on our market are getting better. Even if they go up, they are going up at a significantly lower rate. And the Agric Ministry is ensuring that there's bumper harvest of many of our cereals and grains, improving on our food sustainability as a country. We are focused on fighting galamsey, and His Excellency the President is inviting all to come on board and ensure that we succeed against this canker. That is the focus of His Excellency President Mohammed's government. That is the focus of the NDC. And at the right time, when the party is convinced that it has delivered enough to the admiration of the people of Ghana, we will decide on who to present to the people of Ghana for a new mandate.
On the matter of galamsey, that's going to be our next conversation right now.